It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
What is going on, Lake of the Ozarks? William Holtz alongside Chris Schneider, and it is time for a cup of coffee right here at Slumberland at the lake. And boy, we have an action-packed show for you this week. Man, the Chiefs look like they are really in trouble. Might be time to start worrying KC Nation. We'll talk about that. Also, PCP or Punkin' Chunkin' Palooza's Got Talent.
That was
Competition was incredible. We're going to recap, go over who won that. Hey, Camdenton Police, or the city of Camden County rather, gets a pay raise with the sales tax increase. So Lake Ozark now looks like they may be giving their patrol a
Keeping
raise.
up with the Joneses, right?
Along with not just the patrol, also the dispatch as well as the public works. So we'll talk about what that could mean in the future. And then Chris and I's favorite fishing event of the year.
Yeah.
We're going to win it this time, the Big Bass Bash, with $100,000.
I even caught a fish over the weekend. It was only that big.
That ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
That is not going to cut it. But before we get into all this, we got to tell you about Slumberland at the lake right now. They've got their brand new sleep solutions section together. It's upgraded. It's brand new. They got way more selection now, whether it's mattresses. And the big things you probably don't think about, your sheets and your pillows are super important. The three things they're focusing on right now are the snoring, that staying cool while you sleep, you get too hot, you can't sleep, and then also the comfort level and the back pain. So you're going to come in, they're going to talk to you about those things and get you in the right mattress. And the cool thing is, if you get here before Saturday, they've got two different mattresses, one for $200 and one for $300. Big savings, over 70% off on those two. So that and a whole lot more. But as much as I love Slumberland, you know who loves them even more?
Who?
Our friend Daryl Cunningham.
Hey everyone, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're inviting everyone to come see our new Sleep Solutions Gallery. We know that sleep is much more than just mattresses, and we've even made it easy to find that perfect night's sleep. Come see us at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
Yeah, Daryl is the man, and they got lots of stuff for you here. Unfortunately, this one right here looks like it's sold, but I think they could probably get another.
I like that for our set. That's greatness.
You notice it goes on the set, and then as soon as it gets here, it's gone.
Yeah.
You know, it's because all you watching Cup of Coffee love Slumberman almost as much as you love Uncle Chris.
Woo. Well, that's hard to beat right there, right?
Hard to beat. So we were both there Saturday. It was the first annual Punkin' Chunkin' Palooza's Got Talent event. 10 finalists that had sent in their audition tape got to perform in front of the live audience at the Amp. And, man, some great talent. Didn't you feel like there were some amazing acts?
Yeah, and it was very diverse, too. I mean, we had a young piano protege, right, 17-year-old, and this guy had world-class talent. Incredible. And you had hula hoop people. They call it hooping.
Yeah.
And I thought that was basketball until that night. And that was interesting, and just some great singing talent. It really was great. I think this is an event year after year that's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. It was huge. The individual that ended up winning, Chelsea Witt, who is a singer, and man, she had some power. She's a previous Singer Heart Out champion from a few years ago, and the cool thing is, she is expecting her second child in a couple months, and she said, you know, this $5,000 is really going to get a lot of things moving for my family. This has been such a great night. So it was cool how much everybody enjoyed that, from all the people that were involved with Above and Beyond Roofing, you know, all the Rotarians, you, Kevin Hilly and Mary Kay, judging, Gary Coy, Heather Link, her boyfriend Kurt. I mean, it was just so many people were involved. Became such a cool, fun event, and like you said, it is not going to go anywhere. I think year two will be huge, and auditions open July 1st of 2022. So if you heard about that event and weren't quite sure, or you're just hearing about it, you have now until early July of next year to start prepping that, because from July till the end of August, we're going to open that for a full 2 months. And you could be the next $5,000 winner next year. So super cool.
You know what was really neat about that too? Being able to be there and be behind the scenes. That was the first time I've been on the amphitheater stage and like in, you know, back in the back rooms and stuff. And it's really cool to see all that. But what was even more cool than that was to see the performers going I can't believe I'm really here at the amphitheater and I get to perform on stage. I mean, it was really fun to see that, because it's kind of a dream come true for these performers to be up there on the amphitheater stage and doing that, which I completely understand. That was very cool.
It's a dream come true for me every time I get to MC or host an event and be on that stage. I mean, so I know for those performers that hadn't been there before, it was. And Chelsea said, the one that ended up winning, Chelsea Witt, said, this was a bucket list item for me just to play on this stage. Never in a million years would I thought that after singing tonight I would have won this whole thing. So.
There was one band there, and I was watching the band members. You were telling them, okay, here's how it's going to go. This go here, do that. This is the performance, and they were looking at each other, big eyes, and going, wow. I mean, it's like they were going on, TV to do a big time television show or something. It was pretty cool. It was neat.
And they deserved it because the talent was outstanding. So again, thank you for everyone who was involved with that. So our next local story. Lake Ozark weighing a pay raise for cops and other city employees. This coming from, if I understand correctly, current city administrator Dave Van D, who's kind of spearheading this. What can you tell us about this?
Okay, so the board, aldermen had a meeting. They did the first reading, approved the ordinance authorizing a pay adjustment for employees in the police, dispatch, and public works departments. City Administrator Dave Van D said the recent passage of a Camden County sales tax, which we know about, which helped pay their officers and stuff, to fund Camden County Sheriff's Department, was a motivator in deciding to address their pay issue. There appears to be an effort to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and my goal is to bring our lowest starting wage closer to that level. So for the officers, police department, they'll see a pay adjustment from $15.39 an hour to $16.32. All employees hired with a 6-month probationary period in which they receive a pay base of $16.32, and then that will go up. And there's other things. Dispatch, their starting wage is $14.49 an hour. That would go up from a current $12.88, right? So it'd be a really nice pay raise. Public Works, 6 employees would be impacted by the change. Calls for the starting wage to increase from $12.36 to $13.51 an hour, so you can kind of see where all that money would go. And you know why they're doing this too? The same reason why Camden County had to do it. Camden County would hire officers, train the officers, then the officers would leave for more pay somewhere else. Right. So,
and you're talking about an expensive investment when you talk about training and the equipment and the things that it entails to add a new deputy to the force. And you're exactly right. They would get the training that our county would pay for, our taxpayers would foot the bill, and they'd go 20, 30, 40 miles up the road to take a job for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 more a year. And the cool thing is with this, Chris, after year 1, there's also increases. As for cops, they're going to go from $16.32 to $16.81. Dispatch from that starting $14.49 up to a potential $15.51, and Public Works by year 2 would be up to $14.33, and that's what Dave Van D says. Want to get all of those city employees closer to that minimum wage of $15 and give them opportunity to advance. So we'll keep you guys updated on that, but good to see our local police and our local municipalities starting to prioritize that,
Nice.
So hopefully that will be something that
part
can
of the
attract
growth process.
Absolutely, and we know that we are in an aggressive growth phase here at the Lake of the Ozarks in our Tri-County area, and we don't anticipate that slowing down.
No, it doesn't look like it anyway.
And one of the things that draws hundreds, thousands of people even to the lake each year is the biggest amateur fishing tournament of the year. Typically we'd save this for events, but it deserves its own local story. Someone's going to win $100,000. That's not a typo. That's right. $100K.
I mean, that's almost, a tenth of what you make.
Oh yeah, over the course of my life, I'm hoping to make $100,000. This guy's out of control. But that's in a life-changing amount. And here's something they're adding this year. You will be able to fish Truman Lake, which connects to Lake of the Ozarks, and participate in that Big Bass Bash. And of course, that's October 2nd and 3rd, which is coming this weekend. So you're going to want to make sure you get your fishing boat ready, you get registered, and good luck to you guys, because Chris and I were thinking about doing it. We just thought it wouldn't be fair if we came out there and won in our first year.
I mean, Yeah,
When you have money like this guy, 100K means nothing to you.
I haven't even cracked 10 as far as fish caught in this lake yet. Maybe right around there. But isn't it cool, though? It's so exciting that you can go out and do that, have fun, and maybe, like you say, life-changing money, $100,000. Wow.
Courses put on by Midwest Fishing Tournaments and that circuit. Just an incredible thing. And we'll keep you posted because someone is going to have a picture after this weekend with a huge fish and a huge check, and I'll be able to sit there in jealousy just watching him in that huge check. Kind of like the $5,000 check Saturday.
Yeah.
All these people getting all these big checks. I got to get in on this.
That's right. And it also says every paid entry into this tournament this weekend gets anglers one entry into a drawing to win a brand new Phoenix 818 with a 150 horsepower Mercury engine. Retail value $40,000. So I think that's on top of the $100,000.
Well, so total for this event, they give away $325,000 in cash and prizes.
Wow.
So not just $140,000 with the boat and the big check, but there's another $185,000 sitting out there that's going to be given out as well.
Wild Will and Uncle Chris need to jump in the boat this weekend.
I
go
think
fishing.
so, baby.
We can talk them into the boat, right?
Yeah.
We can sweet talk them into the boat.
We can sweet talk them into the boat, no doubt about it.
Fishy.
Yeah. And you know what's cool? That's not going to work. Okay. Last year, you remember it was a younger guy that won, and that's cool. And speaking of younger people, Lake of the Ozarks teen siblings qualify for World Wake Surfing Championship. That's pretty awesome. So it's sister and brother Reese and Caden Johnson. Reese is 15, Caden is 12, and they are competing in the Competitive Wake Surfing Association World Championships, and they've already run their runs this last weekend. They're just waiting on the results that will come in the next week. Reese currently sits at 8th place, 86 points behind first. Caden sits at 10th, 157 points out of first place. And their parents have actually been surfing professionally since 2004. Wow. And so it kind of runs in the family. And for Reese and Caden, they both started back in elementary school, which is pretty cool.
So Reese is a 15-year-old. So she's just a young one, and I think she has already decided that's what she wants to do.
Yeah.
And then Caden is 12 years old. He's still figuring out if that's what he wants to do for a career, but man, they're already world class. They're already there, which is pretty special. But how hard would it be? I mean, they've already done their runs, and they just have to wait to be, to be told how good it was and all that. Wouldn't that drive you crazy to have to wait for a month or 2 months to get the results?
Right, yeah, they're saying early to mid-October. It looks like the results will come in. And so we'll keep you posted on that, of course, just according to lakeexpo.com. But super neat to be brother and sister and come from that kind of family and to have a chance to, place in pretty high up there. I mean, Reese is 8th, Caden's 10th, and they could jump based on their performances. So last local headline for those of you Ozark and Netflix streaming fanatics out there. Well, we've moved forward. We told you a couple months ago that it looks like it was going to be the end of this year that it was released. Well, it's not going to be until next year now, probably early to mid-2022, but they are now done filming.
The show Ozark.
The Ozark cast and crew apparently had their big end of filming completion party, and Lake Expo got a tip from that, and they put that article out that we saw this morning. And so hopefully that means sooner than later, because I'm telling you, it's been a while since season 3 has gotten over, and I'm just chomping at the bit to see what happens with the Navarro drug cartel.
Video promo for it on Facebook this morning. So they're already putting out commercials for it. So it's huge. I mean, that has become a huge thing.
Season 3 was nominated for 19 Emmy
Wow.
awards. It did take home 1, which was Julia Garner got the #1 female supporting actress in a drama series.
And you're tight with all those people, man.
Not at all. No, Larissa Michelle was the one that I got closest to. Jason Bateman did spit in my general direction at one point in time. So, no, actually, to be honest, he was the coolest, and you only had a couple, interactions with him, but he was just so down to earth and so nice. And some of the other bigwigs around him, they kind of had that personality, that ego that you thought Jason might have, but he didn't.
He's cool.
But I just can't wait for that season.
I'd like to meet
come
his
out.
sister. Remember Justine Bateman?
Oh, here we go.
Ooh, doggy.
Here we go.
She was pretty.
I hope that Uncle Chris or Aunt Michelle is not watching as you talk about all these beautiful women. All right, on to sports before Chris gets out of control. So high school football, Camdenton cruises. Friday, Osage drops their second in a row and 3 out of 4. Osage sits at 2-3, Camdenton 4-1, and you said Camdenton was going to have their work cut out for them with Bolivar.
Yeah, Bolivar's been a good team the last couple of years. They were 11-1 2 years ago. Last year, really good, and beat Camdenton last year. First time ever the Lakers played a game at Bolivar was last Friday. And yeah, I know, it was kind of surprising. I asked Coach Shore, I said, "You've never been there?" Never. And good game. They won it like 49-42. Yeah. It was, back and forth, but the Lakers won it, improving to 4-1. Homecoming this week against Hillcrest, a team they should beat. Then it starts getting real interesting because it's undefeated Lebanon. Next, the week after that, and then Glendale's really good this year. They're 3-1. Rolla. Yeah. And I believe Lebanon, Rolla, I think Glendale are all in their district. In Camdenton's district. So it's going to be a tough playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. As for Osage, they fell at home against Hallsville 28-0, and Hallsville now, they're looking really, really good. They're 5-0 under Justin Conyers, and they're looking to make some noise. As for the Indians, they'll be on the road at California. Pintos are Versailles will be at California.
Versailles at California, which is our game of the week.
Our game of the week.
Friday night, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. Osage will be at Boonville.
So wait, it was Versailles that lost to Hallsville. We had California and Osage, so Osage lost to California, I believe.
No, we were in California, and they lost to Boonville.
I better keep my straight. We got so many local teams. Boonville was at California. Yes, Osage was home
was impressive.
To Hallsville. Versailles lost to Blair Oaks. Boy, Eldon gave Southern Boone a run for their money.
They did,
that was a close one.
That was a great game. I think, I'm so impressed with the way Eldon has improved this year, and Versailles. Don't look at the records. Look at how they're playing on the field. They're playing better, and the programs are getting better. Same with Osage. Osage has lost 3 in a row. They could have been 4-0 at one point if some breaks had gone their way, but they're playing better. Programs are getting stronger. In the coming years, it's going to be fun to watch, and Lake TV will be right there.
So yeah, Versailles at California. That should be a good one. California 3-2, tough loss to Boonville. Of course, Versailles lost to Blair Oaks, but they did put up 14 or 21 points against the Falcons. So Warren Sites has that team improving and getting better. So should be a good one. Of course, the COMC pregame show set for 6:30, kickoff set for 7. And we're looking forward to that. So go from high school, move to the.
Oh, and by the way, if you want to hear the coaches talk every week, Lake TV has a high school football coaches show where we talk with Camden and coach Jeff Shore and Shannon Jolly from Osage. They preview that week's games. You can see that every week during the season, Tuesday through Friday at 10 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 6 in the evening.
Awesome. Yeah, and you're going to want to catch that. I believe that you got some wild questions next week coming for Coach Shannon Jolly. Yes. We're going to get to know him a little better.
Yeah. And he's got this new program he started up to help youth. And so we talk about that too, which is really cool.
Super, super cool. So from high school to professional, man, I know Chiefs Nation is still probably licking their wounds after this weekend, man. 2 in a row, and they lose at home to the Chargers. Wow.
Wow, it was sad.
Is it time to panic for KC Nation?
I don't think so, because it's just 3 games, right? 17-game season. So you still got a lot of the season left. What I think this is a wake-up call. Because they went into the year, they've been to 2 straight Super Bowls. Everybody says, oh, they're the best. They're going to go 17-0. And I think they just started reading their own press. And, they've lost the last 2 games. Should have won that Baltimore game, but they blew that. But this is a wake-up call. They better get their stuff together. They better start getting back to what, made them one of the best teams in the end. This week should be easy. They've got an Eagles team. They should be able to just kick around.
Yeah, you say that, but I mean, the Chargers were 1-1 when they come in. They weren't looking that good. The Ravens have not looked incredibly hot so far this year. And yes, I mean, that is actually what's happened over the last couple of years is KC always gets down early and they rely on their offense. And if you talk about this defense, is Eric Bellamy still the defensive coordinator in Kansas City?
Do they have a defensive coordinator there, man? I mean, that defense just
it reminds me of when Bellamy was there. I mean, because they are so bad. We're going to look at how bad, Chris. Okay, so right now they're giving up 31.7 points per game, which is dead last in the NFL. They're giving up 160.3 rush yards per game, which is second last in the NFL. They're getting up 270 pass yards a game, which is good for 8th worst in the NFL, and total yards 430 points a game, which is 3rd most in the NFL. So they have been historically bad. And you mentioned Sunday watching the game, it looked like Honey Badger wasn't playing as hard.
Yep.
And it just does not look like they're playing with the same fire. And outside of the loss, then they deal with their coach who gets sick, and Andy Reid, who had to go by ambulance to a local hospital following the game, was dehydrated, but it does look like, according to Fox News, he's in good spirits, everything's going to be okay, and they actually expect him to return to the facility at some point in time this week, so hopefully he'd be able to be back for the game this weekend.
He needs to just drink more beer, right?
Yeah, I don't think he needs to drink any more. a little water will go a long way for that man, I'll tell you that. All right, so then we're going to look at our picks. Man, I'm telling you what, I'm getting sad over the results in Pick'em.
Yeah.
A bad week for me. I go 9-7, 10 points. You, Ricky, and Andrew all tie at 10-6. You get 11 points. You get that bonus point as well.
I
so
believe
12.
That's 2 straight weeks Uncle Chris has had first place.
Yeah, but you tied with 2 others, and then, I'll give it to you. 2 weeks in a row. So updated standings. After 3 weeks, Andy's in first place with 36 points. Chris is in second with 34. Ricky's in third with 31. I'm in fourth with 30. And Megan forgot to submit picks this week, but she's still only 8 points back, and I'm 6 points back of the lead in Andrew. So I'm pretty embarrassed that Megan's only 8 points back of me after taking an entire week off.
Well, and she said she did that just to give us a chance, right? Well, so that was awfully nice.
She'll be storming back. So we look at this week's game. Uncle Chris, the games, I've got Jacksonville and Cincinnati. I took the Bengals.
I took the Bengals.
Panthers and Cowboys, I got Carolina.
Oh, I got the Cowboys.
Good. I'm glad we got different games. Carolina's 3-0. Sam Darnold looks really, really good. Their defense looks solid, and Christian McCaffrey hasn't even had to do everything right now for that team.
That ought to be a really good game because the Cowboys are looking good, too.
So with Sam Darnold looking this good, is this just another proof in the pudding about how bad Adam Gase is as an offensive mind? Because it seems like anyone that's ever been in his system has thrived wherever else they went afterwards. And Sam Darnold, he was a huge bust under Adam Gase in New York after being the number 2 overall pick. Well, here he's first year in Carolina, and he looks scary good.
You know, that is so much of these people's success. I mean, Hall of Famers, look at the great, great Hall of Famers. So much of their success has to do with the teams they're on, the coaches they have. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, if he had gone to the Jets, we'd be saying, oh, man, this guy's a bust. You know,
for
he's
sure.
not good. But Patrick got on the Chiefs with Andy Reid, and he's a superstar.
And the right weapons, the right system, the right city for him, and he's thrived. So I got Carolina. You got Dallas, Cleveland, and Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota.
What? I'm going Browns, baby.
I'm going with the Vikings. The Vikings destroyed the Seahawks on Sunday. So, I mean, and they did that without...
That was impressive.
And they did that without Dalvin Cook, and now Kirk Cousins has 23 consecutive starts with a quarterback rating of 90 or higher.
I like Kirk Cousins.
I mean, and not only is he a big believer, but he is one of the most underrated players, and he got me 61 points this week in my fantasy team, too. So, going with the Vikings. Lions and Bears.
I've got the Bears.
I've got the Lions.
Wow.
We are apart on all of these games. I love it. Chicago doesn't even know who their quarterback is.
That's true.
He says he may start it. Nagy says might start any of them.
They got that kid out of Ohio State, but they both suck, you know, so who are you going to choose between
you
suck
remember in
and suck?
preseason when Justin Fields says, man, I just expected the NFL speed to be higher. He got sacked 9 times on Sunday, so maybe you got to hold it, Mr. Fields.
Exactly.
All right, Houston and Buffalo, I got the Bills. That's my money pick.
I got the Bills. That's my money pick,
You always want to be like me when you grow up.
Exactly. I want to be just like him.
Colts and Dolphins, I got the Colts.
I got the Dolphins. Wow.
I love this that we're apart on all these. Chiefs and Eagles.
I got the Chiefs.
I got the Eagles.
No.
Kidding, I got the Chiefs on that one.
Wow. That would have blown me away.
Both got the Chiefs. Giants and Saints, I got the Saints.
I got the Saints.
Titans and Jets, I got the Titans.
I got the Titans.
I got the Falcons over Washington.
I got Washington.
Yeah, look at us.
Wow.
The Rams over the Cardinals.
I've got the Rams.
Seahawks over the 49ers.
I got the Niners.
Wow.
You got the Seahawks?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Ravens and Broncos. Good.
This is going to be a good game. I took the Broncos, but I think it could go either way.
I got Baltimore, and here's why. Been really, really impressed with what Denver has done Teddy Bridgewater's come in. Wasn't even going to be their starter. It was Drew Lock's team. Bridgewater, his career's revamped. They're 3-0, and what's equally impressive is how good this defense is playing. They shut out New York on Sunday. Bridgewater looks good. Melvin Gordon's look good running the football. They've got some young studs on the offensive side of the football. So I like Denver. I like the direction they're headed. But Baltimore, they're going to have to come out, and they're going to see Lamar Jackson have a crazy game against this defense. He's going to make a statement, and Baltimore's going to win that game. Steelers at the Packers.
I got the Pack.
I do as well.
Okay.
I'm glad that we got that one right. Okay, Buccaneers over the Patriots.
I got the Bucks.
I also have the Bucks and Vegas, Raiders, and Los Angeles Chargers. I went with the Chargers.
I went with the Chargers as well. I think that's going to be a great game,
Me too. Well, the Raiders are 3-0.
Yeah.
Chargers are 2-1 coming off that big win over the Chiefs. So right there's your two division leaders. Them and I guess the Broncos too are 3-0. You got the Broncos at 3-0, Raiders at 3-0, Chargers at 2-1, and the Chiefs at 1-2.
Yeah.
Go figure.
So we picked 7 games differently this week. That's amazing.
That should be cool.
Yeah.
That should make for an interesting show next week and a probably very sad Sunday for one of us too. And we really ought to stop doing this before the boys send in their picks because they just copy you so they can stay at the top of the pack with you. They don't copy me.
That's right.
You can tell they don't copy me because I'm all at the bottom by my lonesome. So, man, we love football season, don't we?
It's great.
This is so much fun. All right, so real quick, I'm going to tell a funny story of the week. Then we got to cover some upcoming events before we wrap it up. So this is Little Johnny gets the pleasure of meeting Nancy Pelosi.
Really? Little Johnny gets to meet Nancy Pelosi?
Lucky little Johnny.
Was she wearing a mask?
No, I'm sure she wasn't. Nancy Pelosi was visiting a primary school in Tampa and visited a 4th grade class. They were in the middle of a discussion related to words in their meeting. So the teacher asked Mrs. Pelosi if she would like to lead the discussion on the word tragedy. So she asked the class for an example of tragedy. One little boy stood up and offered, if my best friend who lives on a farm is playing in the field and a tractor runs him over and kills him, that would be a tragedy. No, said Pelosi, that would be an accident. A little girl then raised her hand and said, if a school bus carrying 50 children drove off a cliff killing everyone, that would be a tragedy. Nancy says, I'm afraid not. That's what we would call a great loss. The room went silent. No other child volunteered. Pelosi searched the room looking for a student to ask a question. Isn't there someone here who can give me an example of a tragedy? Finally, at the back of the room, little Johnny's hand goes up. The teacher held her breath as she knows Johnny. In a quiet voice, he said, if the plane carrying you was struck by friendly fire, missile, and blown to smithereens, now that would be a tragedy. Fantastic, explained Pelosi. That's right. And can you tell me why that would be a tragedy? Well, says Johnny, it has to be a tragedy because it sure as hell wouldn't be a great loss, and you can bet your sweet ass it wouldn't be an accident either.
Oh,
Isn't
wow.
that awesome?
Wow.
Little Johnny, that is my spirit animal.
I like Little
love
Johnny,
it.
yeah.
I like Little Johnny.
Wow.
All right, upcoming events around the lake. Old Time Apple Festival is this weekend.
Cool.
Saturday in Versailles. Avett Brothers' final concert of the season at the amphitheater. We'll be there. You and Michelle going to go?
I don't think so. I don't think we're going to be able to make that.
Real Men Wear Pink at Shawnee Bluff Winery.
I think we're going to that.
That's
right?
next Thursday
Yeah.
from 5 to 7. Go out and support that. That's put on by Jason Jones, Missouri Magazine, Shawnee Bluff, and of course, that is all for cancer. So
We
make
need to
sure
wear
you
our
guys,
pink Lake TV
We're
hats.
going to.
Yeah.
I almost gave one of them away yesterday, and I was like, we only have 2 left. I got to have those so
Yeah.
we can wear those to that event together. Man, we're goofy.
We are goofy, aren't
We
we?
are. We're something.
That makes us so popular.
That's one way to look at it. Also, mark your calendars for October 9th and 10th. It is the Save Your Seat program. At the amphitheater, you can go and test out a seat, and for $100, you can ensure you get that seat first dibs every concert at retail. You don't have to pay the bloated increased cost, and you'll get those as they make the announcement. You'll then get to buy those before they even go on sale. So mark your calendars, the 9th and the 10th. Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting there Friday, right after football and camping out. I want to buy the whole front row
Wow.
for Lake TV.
Well, you got, your bucks, you can do that, right?
This guy has been drinking too much, I think. All right, so what's happening on Lake TV, Chris? So much is happening.
Yep.
Weekend at the Lake with Bob Spicer. Still have a couple months left in that for the year. And I'm telling you, this week's Community Spotlight guest, Reid Millard, is awesome.
It's really cool. Reid Millard, he is the owner of Millard Family Chapels, right? So we thought, I mean, that's one of the things people don't talk about
Right.
is death. So let's talk about it. What, how does that whole thing work? How do you get into the funeral home business and what's it like? So we talk about all of that, and it is fascinating. It's really, and join us for the Community Spotlight Show. It's 9, 3, and 7 every day on Lake TV.
No doubt about it. And then, of course, we've also got What's Burning. KB's going to be in the kitchen at Papo's with Chris Galloway. You also got Mr. Ollison and Bill Lacasse going to be on this week as well. Don't forget, big game, Versailles of California, Friday, 6:30 pregame show right here on Lake TV. For Uncle Chris, I'm Wild Will. Love our staff, love the crew at Slumberland, but not as much as we love you guys. We'll see you next week.